Okay, parallel and perpendicular lines, you guys, okay? Parallel lines, the main thing that you need to know about parallel lines is that parallel lines have, write this down, okay? Very important. Put the star, same slope. Okay, bubble it. Okay, put the star, smiley face, very important. Same slope, okay? Parallel lines never cross each other. And what you need to know is they have the same slope, okay? So, I don't know if you can see these two equations. Let me try and make it a little bit larger, okay? But if you look here, okay, closer, right here, you can see that the first equation, okay, here's our red line, okay, and the equation of that line is y equals 1/2 x plus 1. And the equation of our blue line is y equals 1/2 x minus 2. Well, all you need to do to be able to tell if the two lines are parallel to each other is to what? Right there. Look at the slopes of the equations. And if both of the slopes are exactly the same, you have parallel lines, okay? That's how easy it is, all right? So now we're going to do a little algebraic application to it, okay? So let me make this a little bit smaller, okay, and move it up. Parallel lines have the same slope, okay? And so now we're going to write the equation of a line. We're doing parallel and perpendicular in this video. So what we're doing for parallel, we are also going to do for perpendicular, okay? Writing the equation of a parallel line. They're going to give you the equation of a parallel line. Here it is, of a line. Here it is. Okay? Y equals 2/3 x minus 1. That's the equation of the line that they're giving you. And they want you to write the equation of a line that is parallel to this. Okay? So, of course, we have to write what? Always, always, always. Y equals mx plus b. Write it. Okay? And then you need to write it with the, you guessed it, say it, empties. Okay? Y equals blank x plus blank. Okay? So, we have to write the equation of a line, okay, that is parallel to this line, okay, but passes through this point. What did I tell you when we were doing the slope formula? Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Whether they give you 1 point or 2 points, whenever they give you a point, what do we write? X sub 1, y sub 1. Okay? Put the star. Don't forget that. Okay? So we have to write the equation of a line, okay, that is parallel to this line, that passes through this point. Well, not too difficult, right? What did we say? 2 steps, okay? What did we say about the slopes of parallel lines, right? Here's the slope. Everybody circle it. Circle it. Do it now. Circle it. Okay? What did we say about the slopes of parallel lines? We said they have the same slope, okay? So if I have to write the equation of a line that is parallel to this line, if they're going to be parallel, they're going to have the same slope. So what is the slope of this line? 2/3. So what do you think the slope of this line is going to be? 2/3. And guess what? You're halfway done already. And what do we need to find? We need to find the y-intercept. That's the only part that's missing. So part 2 is solve for b. Okay? How do we do that? All we need to do is write y equals mx plus b and rewrite it with the empties. Okay? Well, obviously that's going to be b because, well, that's what we're solving for. Okay? And what did we say the slope is? 2/3. So let's put in 2/3. Okay? And now they gave us, okay, they gave us the point that we're supposed to use, which is what? Positive 12, positive 5. What is our x value? 12. Put it in there for x, right? Here's our x. We put in our 12 for x. And what is our y value? 5. So now all we have to do is solve for b, right? So let's do the math. Bring down the 5. 5 equals, well, what is 12 times 2? 24. What's 24 divided by 3? 8. Plus b. Have we solved for b yet? No. What's the final step? Subtract 8 from both sides. Cancel. B equals -3. And what do you think goes? Watch this. Check it out. Right there. Okay. Erase it. And we put -3. And there you are. I'm going to bubble it. Here is the equation of the line that is parallel to this line that passes through this point. Okay? So I'm going to let you try an example. I'm going to put it up here on the board. Okay? And you're going to try it. And then we're going to go over it together live. Okay? Here we go. I want you to try it now. Oh wait, I don't have another example. We're moving on to perpendicular. We'll do another example live. So here we are moving on to perpendicular right away. Okay? So take a look at our graph here. Okay? These two lines are clearly not parallel. Okay? Because they what? They cross each other. These are perpendicular lines. How do we know that they're perpendicular lines? Well, they have slopes. Remember with the parallel lines, the slopes are the same slope. Well, with perpendicular lines, we're going to look at the slope again. But the slopes of perpendicular lines are what we call opposite reciprocals. Write this down. Okay, opposite reciprocals of each other. Okay, what does that mean? Well, opposite refers to positive and negative, right? Opposite sign. And then reciprocal means you're going to flip it, okay? Write this down, flip, okay? And by the way, perpendicular lines always intersect each other at a 90-degree angle. So there you have it, okay? So here we have the red, okay, so the red line, the equation, I'm going to write it larger for you down here. The equation of the red line is y equals 1/2 x, okay, minus 1. Okay, that's the equation of the red line, okay? So I want you to write that down. And then the equation of the blue line is y equals -2x plus 1, okay? And I'm going to put it in blue. Y equals -2x plus 1. Okay, so let's talk about what opposite reciprocal means first. Okay, let's go back there. Okay, so if I were to give you the number 3, okay? What would be the opposite reciprocal of a positive 3? Well, the opposite of a positive 3 is -3. Okay? But the reciprocal would be we would have to flip it. And since it's a whole number, we would have to flip it down to the denominator. And we would say a -1/3. Okay? So the opposite of a positive 3 is a -3, but the opposite reciprocal, we have to flip it, would be a -1/3. What if you had, here's another example. I'll just write it right here. Okay, what if you had 2/7, right, on the spot? What is the opposite reciprocal of a positive 2/7? Well, the opposite of a positive term is a negative. And then the reciprocal is the flip, so you would flip it, and that would be -7/2. Okay? One more time. What if I gave you, what is the opposite of a -4? Okay? Well, you try that, and we'll go over it together. Well, the opposite would be positive, right? And then the reciprocal, you would have to flip it. So the opposite would be a positive 1/4. Okay? Why am I going over this with you, opposite reciprocals? Because I did tell you, okay, that the slopes of perpendicular lines, the slope, okay? So we have y equals mx plus b. Okay, we're talking about the slope. Here it is, the m. Okay, so the slopes of perpendicular lines are opposite reciprocals of each other. Okay, so let's take a look at these two equations. We don't even have to look at the graph. You don't even have to look at the graph. All you have to do is look at these equations and look at what? Their slopes. So here we go. Here is 1/2, and here is a -2. And you have to ask yourself, are these perpendicular lines? Are they perpendicular to each other? Well, is a positive 1/2 and a -2 opposite reciprocals of each other? Yes. Therefore, these two equations of lines, these two lines are perpendicular to each other. Okay? So just like we wrote the equation of a line that is parallel to the given line, we're going to have to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the line that we're given. Let me just scroll it down. Okay, and move it over. Okay, there it is. Okay, so just like we did for parallel lines, here it is. Which equation, and there was multiple choice, but we're not relying on that. We're going to do it together. Okay, which equation represents the line that passes through the point +2, +4, and is perpendicular to y equals 1/3 x minus 1. Okay, so we have to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to this. Well, what do we always do? Am I sounding like a broken record now? Write it. Slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, this is the equation of a line. And what do? We write it in with the empties. Y equals blank x plus blank. And all we have to do is fill in the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, well, we just said that with perpendicular lines, right, here's the slope. What's the slope here? Positive 1/3. We just said that the slope of perpendicular lines are opposite reciprocals of each other. So what is the opposite reciprocal of a positive 1/3? -3. Guess what? We're already halfway done writing our equation that is perpendicular to this. Now what do we have to do? We have to solve for b. So let's put b. How do we do that? By writing it with the empties. Okay? Okay, we know that the slope is a -3. We don't know, we're going to use the point. Here's our point, x sub 1, y sub 1, right? We have to use this point. Okay? So we have to fill in our x value and our y value here from the point that they gave us. Okay? So our y value is 4 and our x value is 2. There you have it. So now all you have to do, folks, is do the math and solve for b. Pretty simple. Okay? So here we go. 4. Now, -3 times 2 is -6 plus b. And then, have we solved for b yet? No. What's the last step? Add 6 to both sides, and b equals what? 10. Where does this go? Right here. Second part of our equation. Simple. Okay, where's my eraser? Okay, so put it here, and put 10. Now that we're done with that, we're going to get another question on the Algebra EOC and my unit exam, where they're going to ask you, they're going to give you two equations of lines, and they're going to say, is this equation of a line parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Okay, so we have to know how to compare and go from there. And by the way, sometimes, coming back to haunt us from the past, sometimes you may have to solve for y first to figure it out. Okay, but let's take a look here. So there it is. Classifying lines right there. All right, so it says, are the graphs of 4y, there we go, equals -5x plus 12 and y equals 4/5 x minus 8, are they parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Explain. Well, I love this example because, first of all, in order for us to compare them, okay, and what do we focus on? The slopes, okay? We're looking at the slopes. If the slopes are the same slope, they're what? Parallel. If they're opposite reciprocals of each other, they're what? Perpendicular, okay? Or neither. We'll take a look. First of all, they both have to be in slope-intercept form, okay? Y equals mx plus b. This is the form they need to be in. Why? Because we need to be able to compare their slope. Where's the slope? Right here. So, is this first equation in slope-intercept form? No. What are we going to have to do? Solve for y. So let's do that first. 4y equals negative 5x plus 12. Okay? Is this equation in slope-intercept form? Yes. Nothing to do here. Yay! What is the slope? 4/5. There it is. Right there. Okay? So we just have to figure out what this slope is, and then we'll be able to determine if they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Okay? So how do we solve for y? Well, circle the y. Okay? The only step we need to do is divide by 4. Here we go. Divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4, all 3 times. Bring down your y, and here we have negative 5/4 x plus 12 divided by 4 is what? 3. Here we are. So now we can compare them, right? Because they're both solved for y. And let's take a look at the slope here. Here we have a negative 5/4. Okay? And this slope is a positive 4/5. So we need to figure out, are those two slopes parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Well, are they the same slope? No. Okay, so they're not parallel, right? Are these opposite reciprocals of each other? Well, one is positive, one is negative, okay? And then this is 5/4 up, and this is 4/5. So yes, these two lines, okay, are perpendicular to each other, okay? And that is parallel and perpendicular lines.